Hey guys, thanks for joining me here this morning as I take a quick tour of my garden. Not really a tour, but more an assessment of what needs to be pulled up, trimmed back, cleaned, moved to a different location. It's pretty much fall here. It's the middle of September, almost the end. Um, and I have to start really getting ready to um, for the fall. I'm going to put in some mums as well. Um, but I need to start cleaning up the garden. I don't usually pull any plants up or anything. I usually leave things for the wildlife in my garden. However, there are some things that I need to move around. They just took over, started growing way too much, and sort of restricted other plants from growing. So I'm going to just show you bed by bed what I'm hoping to do as I assess it myself. Just going to talk through it as we do this. Okay, here's the first bed next to the entryway. See, I've got my asters up here and the mums that I bought, some pumpkins, getting ready to start my fall decoration. I did have some sunflowers come up this year, which I didn't plant. They just grew from seeds from last year. But if I look at this garden, you can see all of this here. This is the blazing star or purple liatris. I did plant it there a couple years ago when it was very empty. Now it has filled in quite a lot here. So what I'm thinking I'll do is I'll actually dig these up, transplant them somewhere else. And then what will happen is it'll free up the plants in here to grow much better. Here I've got columbine sort of hidden down there. That's the purple leaf. There's some there too. This was a lily. I have some lilies in here. This purple salvia, I think, should, grow a little more. I know I had some other things in here as well, which kind of didn't even come up this year, such as this coreopsis. It didn't really, last year it was way tall and grew quite full and nice, and this year it didn't come up. I think it was just overgrown, taken over by the liatris. And hopefully the rose bush back there will have some more air. You can see how dead it looks. Even my Dave Austin way back here, that one's been eaten out. So yeah, I need to clean this bed up a lot. So that's my plan. The peony bush is looking good. Usually by now, these peonies are covered in some sort of powdery mildew, but that hasn't happened. So it's doing well this year, even though we've had so much rain. Pretty much all of August rained. Here's the second bed. I have my line of gladiolas in the back, and then in front of that is the purple liatris, which is what I've always had. Now behind all of that, you'll see the sunflowers there. I also have two these boxwood bushes. This one's growing really well. I have one down there that's not doing so well. So I do want to sort of clear it up and make more room for it to have space to grow in the winter. They will stay green, and hopefully, create a spot as they get taller for birds to land and have a safe space. Here's some other liatris that I may move. I don't know that I need it in the corner. And I bought some of this beautiful astilbe to plant, in the fall here in the front. Ooh, I'm getting attacked by sunflowers. They're all dying back. They bloomed really early this year. Okay, so here are some dahlias, which I planted last year. And we had such a mild winter. And by mild, I mean we probably had 2 snowstorms that amounted to any shovelable, if that's a word, snow. um, and normally you would lift these dahlias, I guess, but I didn't. I just left them in the ground because it got cold quick and I didn't really want to deal with it. And they somehow they came back this year, which means the ground wasn't cold enough, and then also the snow, there wasn't too much moisture to sort of make the tubers rot. So I have this beautiful dahlia growing here in the front, which I'm super excited about. Okay, so dahlias. I got some roses in the front here, which you guys have seen many times. Hopefully next year it comes back healthier, better, nicer. So what I'm going to do, remove these liatris that I planted in the front. Okay? I'm going to get rid of them all so that here is nice and open. I do have a mum planted way back here, as you can see. So once I get rid of these tall things, you'll be able to see that mum better. Now in the front here in the springtime, I have tulips come up, molly allium, some daffodils. So I want to make sure I leave here sort of clear. I do have the columbine in the back. And then I also have a whole bunch of these little tick-seed coreopsis in the front, so hopefully they'll fill in next year. And once I remove these, maybe I'll plant a few, maybe another mum on this side, keep it kind of even. So that's the second bed. It seems like this year what I do have to remove mostly would be the liatris, which multiplies quite prolifically. Now here we are onto the third bed. In the front I have the blue fescue. That's not so blue right now, kind of dry. It's my pile of stuff that I pulled out that I haven't tossed yet. These are daylilies. There's another rose bush I have, and in front of them I've got little plants of, this one is a black-eyed Susan, I think, Rudbeckia. But I do have coneflowers planted sort of in a row here, right behind the daylilies, and I planted them last year. This year they all came up and flowered. I also found some beautiful asters growing. I did plant a big bush in the corner here, but then it died, and I have these little ones growing up along the side, so that's kind of exciting. Not focusing. Anyhow, here I think the only type of cleanup I'm going to do is remove the liatris from the front here. I don't like it. I didn't like it in the fall. It is choking out kind of my hibiscus. It's taking up way too much room here. And then on this side too, it's taken up a lot. So I'm going to get rid of the liatris from here. These are my super tall Asiatic lilies. You can see how they've died back. And yes, I left them dead and brown in the garden because now their bulbs will have absorbed all that energy. Now is the time for me to cut it back. Sometimes they'll just yank out nice and easily. But, you know, I'll do that as well to clean it up. I don't need to leave that. I'm also going to divide this iris. I'm going to cut it in half. And I think maybe I'll just put some over on that side in front of the other lilies. See if I can make it more symmetrical, perhaps. That's my plan for this bed. I will take my spinner down and put it inside because sometimes in the winter the winds here get really, really bad and I don't want to get in damage. I will pull the Queen Anne's lace out here. It's all brown and dead, and probably now I have a ton of seeds everywhere and I may get a lot more plants next year. But they were nice. They were beautiful back there, nice and tall. In the front here, I do have some more liatris. I may leave this. Random gladiola, some butterfly bush. I might just clean it up. Here you can see a tulip poplar tree just growing on its own. They grow very fast as well. So you can see how things are looking kind of dead now. And so if you guys were curious, I had two other tulip poplars growing in my garden. This one and this one. And I transplanted them over there to these spots. In the first year of growth, they grew probably 2 feet, a foot and a half, and then when I transplanted them, this is about 4 feet now, so it's grown quite a lot. Here's this first bed on the side of the house. There's a lot to do here, a lot. Mostly weeding, mostly just digging up extra plants. Here, the sun's at my back. I need to pretty much, you can see these coneflower stems with the seeds on them. The flowers have dried. I'm just going to cut them back down to the, the base of the stem down here. Sometimes you can see new flowers on them. So, I may cut it back to a flower, or I might just cut it back to that point. Look at how black this one is. And the birds do like coming to eat these. They love the seed heads. Of course, that's why I end up having so many new flowers on the side like those, because, the birds will have dropped seeds or whatever. My hibiscus, I have a giant thing here too, but the hibiscus was eaten by sawfly worms this year. You see that little green guy? Or he flew away, but I do have some buds still on it. And then if you look back here, I actually have some flowers. They are still flowering, so beautiful, despite being eaten. You know, it looks like the leaves are so holy right now, but it's still producing. So I'm going to clean up all around it, make it nice and open, get the air going. This usually dies back, and I usually leave these stems all winter. It creates a nice focal point in the garden because they turn a beautiful gray and they just stand up nice and tall. Lots of cornflower, lots of things that need to be cleaned. Ooh, and here's something exciting. I have corn growing, I think, in my garden. How about this? Just randomly in the middle, coming up through the sweet William down there on the bottom. I just have, you know, corn out of nowhere. Some bird probably pooped it out there, and now it's growing. Probably take care of that and remove it. This cornflower is ginormous. I'm going to also cut this one back. And then moving on to the last one. You can see the evening primrose. Look at how tall they got. They got so tall that they started falling over and wrecking the plants below it. So in my cleanup, I'm going to get rid of these. They have flowered already. Some of them still have like single flowers on the top. But I'm gonna pull these out, I think. I know they're biennial, and they are native to here, but I'm gonna remove them because you can't even see my little rose bush in the corner here. It's there. It's had buds on it, but it's been crushed. This year we had a whole lot of crickets. They were so loud, I can hear them right now in this garden. So that's my plan for the beds. And once that's all cleaned up, then I think I'll be able to decide where I want to plant new things. So the mums that I have up there, the asters, anything like that, I can put it in front and start getting my garden fall ready, looking pretty. You know, I do have some scarecrows I'll put out, some pumpkins in the garden, a little more art that you can see now when things aren't quite as overgrown, I suppose. It's not as full with flowers, so there'll be some bare spots. So I can put, like I have a little gnome, I can bring him out. A dodo bird kind of looking metal thing that my husband got me last year. I can put him out just for a short while. But that's my plan. So at least now you've seen what I want to do with the garden, how I want to clean it up for fall. And when I'm done, I'll show you guys what it looks like so you can see the before and after. Maybe I'll even show you some working and digging because, you know, so you know that I'm actually doing it. I'm not just saying I'm going to do it. All right. Thanks for watching. Okay. What I'm going to start with here, the purple liatris. I am just going to dig them out with a shovel, place them in a cart I have over there. See that? Oh, quite compact. Right. That would be why nothing else can grow, because there's so many roots in there, it gets way too compact and tangled. Nothing else can get it. Alright, one down. This one here, I gotta make sure I don't get the lilies with it. Stargazing lilies. Don't think there's anything else in there. And here's an extra bulb. I'm going to take that. Not leave it in there. growing, just a little overgrown or stunted. Oh, that's a big one. And you can see a sunflower came up with that. You can see the bulbs in here. Healthy, good to move somewhere else. A few more. And now that's just the first section, and look at how much better it already looks. Going to work on this section now. All right, here you can see I pulled up all the liatris. You can pretty much see I removed some from the front here, and then some more from the back. And just look at how much clearer it looks. You can see some of the plants so much better. And I found quite a few of these coreopsis plants in between, mixed in. So had they not been smothered by all of this liatris, they may have grown taller. I may have had some more yellow flowers in the front here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weed up all of these little ferny looking things. I'm going to pull them out and just make it look a little bit cleaner. Pull all the weeds out because they're way back there as well. Love how it focuses on my finger instead. And just start making this bed look, you know, just better. So I'm going to do that and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so here you can see what I've done. I've pulled all of the liatris out from the side. I just left a small little bunch. And then I also got rid of it from the very front where it was taking over. Now you can see the columbine in the middle so much better. I also planted that plant my mother gave me, which is crocosmia. It's an orange flower. It's a bulb. So I planted it in between the two columbine that I have there. And then at the very front, I planted any and all of the coreopsis that I found, you know, so it can kind of, in the summertime, go up in the front nice and tall, send some flowers. And I cleaned up pretty much in the back. You can see this pumpkin rose so much better now. It's all clear all around. The one in the back is quite dead. I did pull out some of the sunflowers, and what I'm thinking is I will actually go through and pull some more out because they're dead, and I don't see that many bugs coming, not bugs, but birds coming and landing to get any of the seeds. I don't know if it just got too cold, too quick, or what it is, but or maybe it's just not the time that it's not dried in time for the birds that are migrating or something. Because usually I feel like they dry out a little later, maybe beginning of October. Um, and usually there are a lot more birds around at that point during the migration, I guess. Anyway, here's my thought. I wanted to show you guys. I have an empty spot here, which nothing comes up to grow otherwise now, perennial wise. So what I was thinking is I could probably plant an aster right about there. That's a New York aster. And what I'm thinking is if I plant it there now, of course, it brings in some fall color. Now it'll, have a lot of bees and bugs on it, as it already does. But next year, when spring comes around, it might start to grow. But I don't think there's anything in there otherwise that's growing in the spring other than weeds, or if I plant annuals, now that I've removed the liatris. So if I leave it there, it can start coming in. I may shift it a little bit more this way so it's not in front of the rose. But I have no problem with it being in front of the peony, and then even next to this thing here, which is the salvia. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe like this. So let's see. Kind of think that looks good. Maybe do something like that. And then next year, when fall comes around, that'll already be there. And it's kind of in the middle of the bed, sort of. I think it looks nice. Maybe that's what I'll do. And then this bed, I think, will be pretty much all set. I may just cut down some of the dead flowers on this, pick up the rest of the sunflowers that are spent, and then I need to mulch it. Hi, good morning to you. Yes, you're looking at me. How lovely. Here I ended up cleaning out all of the liatris, and I planted the purple aster. It's a little bit dead right now. Not dead, there are flowers in it that need to be dead-headed. Over here I also pulled out the rest of the liatris, and I planted a new, over here you can see that I planted a new aster, but look at how much cleaner it is. Everything looks wet right now as well, because it is. And then in this bed, I also got rid of the liatris that were all in the front here, and I planted 2 new mums. You can also see here the orange mums that are growing from before. So I did do a little bit of cleanup. I worked until dusk just trying to get it all done, because I knew we were going to have a lot of rain coming, and we did. We had about a week and a half of solid rain. If there were any days that were actually not raining, everything looked pretty much as wet as it does here right now. So it was kind of difficult to get any work done. Now today is going to be the next dry day. You guys can see all that fog. It's quite thick fog this morning. And then tomorrow we're going to get more rain, and then over the weekend as well. So I still haven't planted these astilbe that are back here. So I'm going to try to get that done today. Or get it done next, because I also have some fall mums that I also want to plant up. So that's my next project, and then after I can focus on some cleanup for the yard. Okay, thanks. So I've got the astilbe planted, which actually are not astilbes, they're celosia. I have been calling it the wrong name, and I planted up a few little mums in between, so I think I'm all done here for fall. Over here I also planted some more of the little small pots of mums that I have. Planted some of those celosia things in the back. And then I kind of created a row of the coreopsis down in the front. I moved them, they were all bunched together, and I did that. Now the last thing I have to do is probably when these all die out, the lilies, I'm going to clean them up, pull them out so the bulbs stay in the ground, but the the stems will come out. Same will go for the liatris in the back and the gladiolas as they die down. I may pull some of the sunflowers out. However, the birds have actually been landing on them and eating the seeds, so I may leave it up for a slight bit longer. If you come over to this garden bed now, you guys already saw that I planted those big pink mums. I ended up planting 3 little yellow ones and those celosia things in a line. Thing is, I waited a little too long to plant them. They're not going to get much bigger than they are now or fill in at all. I just stuck them in because they were there and they were already being eaten by some type of a worm, so just getting it all set. Now the next thing to do here would be to divide this iris. I'm going to take half of it out and place it on this side down here in front of these lilies. I'm also going to pull the stems of the lilies out because they're already dead, they're gone, so no need to keep them up. And then I believe that's it for this garden bed as far as it goes for planting anything for fall or cleaning up for this month of October. So that's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching and joining me while I try to clean up these front beds. I didn't get to these side beds yet because of all of the rain and, you know, the weather, I guess. I'm going to try to today at some point go through and cut down the spent cone flowers and just tidy it up a bit, but I don't anticipate I'm going to get much done. It's sunny now, but like I said, we're expecting a lot of rain tomorrow, so this is what I've got done for now, and I'm happy with it. I think it looks good. All right, thank you for watching.